Hey guys, so this video is out to all the artists out there. And here's my message. If you are an artist, try not to measure your work by how much money you can sell that piece of work for. Because it is not the best measuring tool. Just based off the tastes of the times, that just might be, how it is. You might not be able to sell your painting or whatever it is you're selling for more than a few dollars. There are many artists across many spectrums, whether it's music or actual painting, where their art was not recognized until after they had died or passed away. This is true for books as well. Many authors are like this as well. And I mean, there's plenty of people like this, and it just goes to show you that sometimes your art may be ahead of its time. Now, having said this though, this is where business savvy can help you as well. Sometimes your art is something that can be sold better, and you can make a living without having to live off the streets. And that is where business savvy and street smarts merges with just pure talent and artistry. And so I think that's important as well. Also, it's a bit of a hard gauge because how do you know if you are the person who is so great and amazing and your art is just many centuries or years ahead of its time before society catches up and really recognizes it for what it is? Or is this just something where you are just super arrogant and your masterpieces suck completely? It's tough for you yourself to gauge this, but I think one gauge is just the fact that most people who are very delusional with this and really, really bad at artistry or whatever it is they do, singing or dancing or whatever it is, usually they are very, very arrogant about it. So they're always like, oh, I'm so good at this. You guys don't like me. Well, I'm so great. I'll find my way one day. And I think a certain level of persistence and no fear of rejection is important. But maybe I think it's a small gauge onto where you fall. So if you're not super, super arrogant, perhaps that is a rough gauge at potentially your art, maybe exceptionally good. I think the best thing to do is just to constantly compare yourself to just yourself. Ask yourself, is this my potential? Can I do better? Can I produce something better than I did the day before? And by that gauge alone, you would just keep improving and improving and improving and producing even better and better and better stuff until hopefully eventually something ridiculous comes out there. I wish I could give you a list of artists that are like this, but one is El Greco. His art sold for millions after he died, but during his lifetime it was never recognized and didn't sell. Vincent Van Gogh, of course. One could argue some popular musicians like Mozart were like this as well. Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart. I highly recommend the movie Amadeus if you're interested in his story. And there have been book authors like this as well. There's this one author, I can't remember his name, but he wrote some very popular books, even to this day, but he died thinking that he was a failure. I forgot his name. I don't think it was the author of Great Gatsby, though it was along the same time era where the book was written. Let me know if you know who it is in the comments. And then and even to this day, it still happens. Look at the author who wrote The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo series. He wrote this stuff for fun, and he died, and then they published these books. I think that's just one of the examples about how sometimes all our work is just locked away, and you never know how much potential or how much value you really have. And I think it's a great lesson for people who are always beating themselves up. I think it's very important to realize that you are an awesome individual. And it's a bit of a sad story. You know, he died, made a lot of money, and now his girlfriend and his family have a lawsuit over who gets the profits from the book. That's all I gotta say. As always, like and subscribe. Hopefully I'll see you in my next video. Peace.